Welcome everybody. This is going to be the Daily Dharma. My name is Dina. Thanks everyone for tuning in, lending your energies and support, seeking community and guidance perhaps. Take a few deep breaths, set your intentions for your reading. This morning, coming into the reading, I spent entirely too long, in some people's estimation I'm sure, watching the wildlife. There's some pileated woodpeckers out in the woods today, and I took some footage. I'll probably share the best one while this one's uploading. That one should be a quick upload, and you guys can check that out if you're interested. But now that I'm talking, they're going to probably, for the most part, go to the other side of the woods here and try to wait till I'm gone, I'm sure. Got a little bit of wind here. It's a gorgeous morning, though. There's a very calm, sedate feeling in the air, a lot of fog today. And I didn't pre-shuffle all of the decks, but the archetypal deck was really busy talking. I'll say that the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck here definitely wanted to show the card change. As soon as I picked up the deck, that one flipped almost immediately, and then later dynamic, and on the bottom of the deck, authority number 10. So there may be a very big shift coming in where there's going to be somebody in a position of prominence, whether this is yourself or somebody connected to you, where you may have a new inspired individual, a take charge personality, somebody who's inspired, charismatic, and comes in sort of shaking things up, even if that's just your ideas or motivating you, inspiring you. Maybe you're going on some type of a self-change campaign and seeking a mentor that's very dynamic and charismatic. But I sense that this is also going to be speaking to what's coming into your own life in more of a general sense. So what I've been instructed to do by Spirit today is to take a few cards, first from the Animal Totems deck, some oracle cards here, getting some energies that are lending their support, asking us to embrace some of these qualities that may come through. Then we're going to get a little bit of advice to set the tone for the reading from the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle. And then let's get into the main cards, and then we'll get some finishing up oracles. I kind of have the feeling in the archetypal deck, we're going to talk a little bit about family dynamics, however this works for you. But in the pre-shuffle thinking with these two first oracle decks, there was a thought of more of a career focus, and that maybe the guidance that you feel like you're looking for is coming in that regard. So looking for some type of direction on a big shift, taking some momentum, maybe being an entrepreneurial type venture, or getting on board with something such as that, something changing in that regard. Let's take this one. Beautiful. Dragon, supernatural. You're the ancient, wise sage. You can shapeshift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. Gorgeous. Oh, let me show you that. I'll tell you that the box that this whole setup with my camera is sitting on is this dragon with its wings kind of back. Actually, let me pause and I'll just show you a quick clip of it. So there you have it. Yeah, so there's a lot of dragon energy. This is the year of the dragon, Chinese zodiac. But here it's talking about how you come in with this extra capacity. And oh, that's right. I didn't say it, but I was feeling just before pressing the go button, I was feeling the words, this is going to be a magical AF reading. And I didn't know really where that came from, but let's start stitching it all together. So underneath the deck, we have Cat, independent. You're a natural healer. Your intuition is strong. You don't have to go with the crowd. Life supports you in every way. Now we'll take that one underneath this horse freedom. And I want to just get one more. We'll take that crisscross one there. Lizard, regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. Incredible. So regeneration is one thing, but put on your cloak to me is very magical. And let me see, I didn't quite plan out how I was going to keep these cards up. There's a bit of wind, as I said. There we go. But yeah, some shifting and changing in your own self, regenerating your concept of self, adapting, landing on your feet in some manner where you are connecting more so to your independent nature, your magical personality, and really bringing that fully online. Underneath it says Orca Whale Adventure. Dare to do things differently. Sing your wild song. Manifest your travel dreams. Attempt the great journey with confidence. Be loyal. Friends and family are your treasures. Be brave. You are more powerful than you know. All right, so we already have a card denoting family popping out then. So family vacation, family outings, you know, I would say that even though it can be difficult depending on where you live and what your time constraints are, but you know, it doesn't get easier to balance your stuff until you really just start practicing it, honestly. And so if it's time for you guys to have a reconnection time to regenerate your family in some way, getting together with family and friends or otherwise, or even like spending time with your pets in the pet park, you know, because let's face it, we don't all have our family of origin in that nice little let's get together mood. But even if you're out being independent, there's something here about getting together with individuals that support each other, that can connect and have an adventure. So as I was starting to say, you can do things like exploring the town that you're in, the architecture, the art, the museums, going for a drive, or going for a walk in the park. Like I said, there's often more than we would initially give credit for that we can do as a family. Like I know that sometimes we kind of can get stuck in family movie night, and then the options that are presented aren't always the things that I'd really want to watch, or you know, rewatching the same type of a thing all the time, or getting in series where you have to tune in for every single thing, or sitting there and just watching the clicker go by and there's no options. It's like how much time is wasted when we do things like that versus, you know, planning for something a little bit in advance, a little bit at a time, you know, intentionally researching what you're going to go do, making a plan, and then going out and having your plan with a little bit of wiggle room. And I don't know if you can hear that. That's the woodpecker, the pileated woodpecker doing that. I cannot do it. But yeah, getting out and just doing something simple, exploring some of the hiking trails nearby or something such as that. So before I get into that deck, let's see what the advice from Spirit is with the Whispers of the Ocean. So yeah, getting out, taking some adventures. You may be setting aside some time already to do something magical. I want that one. I'm going to take a few more. But yeah, you're a survivor. You might be making your way through something that's really taking you down for the count, or maybe a breakup or something with the Independent card. But supernatural, it's like you, I think that you're somebody who needs a little bit more magic in your life. Take that however it resonates for you. Underneath the deck here, we have number 2, diving to new depths. Something may have been too surface for you and you were craving something a little a little more from your life, I would suspect. So, new depths. So, you have an adventure coming in, a magical adventure, I would venture to say, at 10:10. Maybe at the time of this broadcast, we're going into October, so this may be October 10th for some of you. I mean, any of the numerology portals are energetic pathways to various timeline jumps and integration portals and things like this. So 1010 is one of manifestation, I believe, because it's the 1010. I've been seeing 1010 for more than all of this year. I don't know when it quite started, but so let's see what came out. First one, let's see. 15, adrift in shallow water. Exactly, diving to new depths. You've been kind of drifting, going with the flow. Um, I'm feeling that heavy sigh energy of just too much of the same. Got to get out of the house, got to have an adventure, getting people out of the routines. It's like some type of routine has become stale or stagnant. 11:11. So, yeah, take a few deep breaths and reconnect to your inner peace. Notice the small things and appreciate them. So, let's take a few deep breaths. Yes, there is a lot more peace in stagnancy, but sometimes the human dimension will create a sense of restlessness, can accidentally create some mischief in the makeup or getting on each other's nerves because we're bored, or maybe the kids are fighting. I only have one here, but I know how kids can be because I grew up with siblings, and it's not always super fun to just be in the boredom zone of everyday life, but maybe there's something that you can do to mix up a routine, um, have a fun outing, a picnic, or something like this. I don't know what will be the thing for you. In the light of the moon, number 3. Remember, under the deck, we had number 2. By the light of the moon, it says a full moon can shine light on what you've been resisting. This can be anything from your fears to your soul's beauty. Okay. I would also say that we've just had the lunar full moon lunar eclipse recently. And so this may be talking about that extreme letting go cycle of what has just passed here, becoming more magical and independent, regenerating yourself, picking yourself back up, landing on your feet and picking up everything. It's like, all right, back to it. And just saying, this isn't a stopping point with the shallow waters, that you're ready to dive in, to sink your teeth into something new. So the last two here, I would say we do have two depictions, the orca whale, and it looks like a killer whale to me in this one, but who am I? It looks a little bit like the orca as well. I wonder if I think they are the same. I think killer whale is the improper name of it. In any event, 39, back on task. That's literally what we were just talking about. Be sure that you're using your time in the best possible manner. You might consider reviewing your goals. Yeah, making the plan for the vacation or the time away, perhaps. You might consider reviewing your goals, your schedule, or a project you're working on. All could use some fine tuning. And we also talked about the routine. So there's something that's gotten routine taken for granted, some infighting that's based on perhaps restlessness or boredom. And last, number 20, we have shared inspiration. Maybe it's time for like a meeting of minds that says, we've gotten into a certain shallow back and forth, how are you doing, by later, and not connecting as a family. Maybe just clearing off the dining room table and having meals, no phones, and actually engaging about each other's days and giving each other full attention is something that needs to come back for many of us. Number 20 says, throw yourself into a new project. Be willing to let go of time constraints and rules and really be aware of whatever fulfills your heart. So that's the shared inspiration element, where in order to unlock some type of stagnant cycle, it may be important to really tune in and connect with what it is in your own self that you're really needing to bring back online. Maybe you want to have a date night or something like that. Maybe it's at work and you just need to have team meetings once in a while, and that way everybody can get on the same team and bring up maybe your department's pows and wows. That was a game we did at Ellie's place where, in order to get kids talking, bring them in, do that icebreaker question of like, how has your day or your week been since last time we came together? What are some of the wins and some of the things that may have been challenges, losses, or something that that we still are looking for, maybe some shared insights of how do we handle this. Like teachers could really benefit from this too. Um, so anyways, getting back onto the same tasks and being able to share within departments or within different roles of the family. Like, tell me from your perspective what's been working, what's making you feel like you're not the priority and having resentments, being able to bring grievances in a safe and protected environment, and to be able to co-creatively, inspired and sharing capacity, come on the same page can be just such a miracle for families. And many of us around the world have gotten disconnected because of our own bad practices, distractions. And part of the human dimension is to be so ultra focused on your own perspectives and your own ideals. Even you see people every day trying to funnel their children in a specific direction. And you may have been funneled yourself. So this back on task card with this squid-like creature, I'm not sure that's really it. It was reminding me immediately of, well, two things. Pirates of the Caribbean, that guy with the face. If you've seen it, I'm not a big fan, so I don't know his name. You do. But yeah, that bioluminescence on his face, and the ability to be flexible, because can't oh yeah, there was this was it something like Finding Dory or something like that, the Nemo um, series, where, I don't know, you guys probably know, there's this, if you watch the kids movies, it was this squid that was in a lab, and it was able to kind of squish itself and go under the doors or something like this. And yeah, it was very interesting because a lot of times you don't really get the backstory of how the animals being depicted here can actually have their own little workarounds, how versatile they are. And we might be like, ew, a squid or whatever, but that bioluminescence is like being able to be a signpost in the dark for those who are wandering around, maybe not knowing themselves. And here's another movie that we rewatched recently, Soul. I don't know if that's Pixar or Disney, but it's a really good one. If you haven't watched it, it's really good. And yeah, just kind of, I forget where I was going with that one. Oh, yes. The Lost Souls is like when somebody, for instance, one of the depictions was this guy, he's a stockbroker. He's just sitting there at his computer, like, gotta make a trade, gotta make a trade. And he starts getting so distracted and distant from his core. He's becoming this lost soul, just caught up in something that maybe he used to enjoy, but all of a sudden it's just flatline, and he's losing something, some of his joy, some of his peace of mind, that true peace. And you know when you're in that mindset, you're not yourself, and so there's this need to regenerate and reconnect here. So yeah, maybe a family movie night for some of you might be a good thing. So let's go ahead and get out some of these cards. What is this dynamic change in leadership? Getting back on task, getting out of the shallow waters in stagnant cycles, having some cooperative adventures, sharing inspiration and adventures, and having more connected conversations. in-depth dynamic is under the deck. What flew out a few moments ago was the third eye chakra, chakra number 6. So intuitively, I feel like you already know what, oh, and I'm setting this right next to Adrift in Shallow Water, which is 15, which is 1 + 5 is 6. So intuitively, I feel like this is really kind of sucking the soul out of the moments for you. And so I don't mean to giggle and make light of it. Sometimes this can be quite a huge thing in our lives. And then we've got 23, which is a 5. And we've got 39 and 3 are both 3s. Anyways, let's take just a few off the back here. 25, 7. So we've got 5, 6, 7, and a 3. Right? Emergence. Yeah, I like what this one says. It says it invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from this place. So maybe even if this is a career or a workplace dynamic, if you're coming together with some team meetings, doing a little bit of extra research and injecting the meetings with some type of icebreaker, some type of interconnectivity where you're actually showing team building work and fostering communication between departments or between people from different satellite offices, for instance, or in your family, the same type of dynamic, right? And celebrating diversity in some type of way, like, okay, these guys had not as many sales, but dollar for dollar theirs was this niche, and it shows that their increase, even though they're not the biggest money maker, they're small town, they've turned around a huge thing, right? Celebrating those little wins for the people in their perspective. It's like, it might not look big to corporate to turn this huge profit, but that place, it represented a huge deal type of a thing, right? So looking at the little wins and celebrating those, making sure that you're celebrating what the kids, for instance, do on their everyday good habits. And I'll say this too, just briefly. My daughter, of course, as they say, the 11th hour, we've got our exchange student. We're on our way to the airport. There's really going to be no time this night to do anything last night. And she tells me she has this presentation due, and I was under the impression that she was well on her way because she told me she needed to do this quite some time ago. And P.S., she also needs some poster board kids. And so yeah, I did talk to her and all of this stuff, and it was at one spiteful little level, it was like, man, I wish that I could just impress upon her that this is a big deal, and she thinks I'm just yelling, but it's seriously, like, she's not young any longer. There's a time where even though the child has screwed up, you don't need to rub their nose in their mess. You got to say your piece, you got to set your limits. But at the 11th hour, it was definitely time to not abandon her either. And I sat with her. I didn't necessarily bail her out, but I sat with her. I brought some snacks. So, yeah, you can turn a situation around that didn't turn around in perhaps your past. And that's how you heal yourself and other. A couple more coherence. Number 13, I think that intuitively here how to make something change and make something work for you, to bring back the magic into the family or the connection here. There's something about playtime though, and the emergence of true support and not abandoning or neglecting the healing necessary in your situation. And it's also like, for instance, as I said, it's like, yeah, I had to say my piece because I'm the mom. I got to set that limit. But on the flip side, I also want to, impress upon her that, yeah, you screwed up. Yeah, you got to fix it. But I'm here with you. Let's get it done. It doesn't have to feel like a huge loss. So let's leave those cards there. I do want to move forward. Oh, under dynamic wants to be shown empowerment, divine masculine, and transition, remembrance, allowance, and Gaia. So letting the Great Mother bring forward our ability to remember times when we had to take more and more responsibility, and how to let the children or the other individuals feel more confident and feel celebrated. It's like we don't want to overlook the little guys and make anybody seem unimportant, because when we can bring them, when we can uplift everybody and have people having fun instead of being like, look at these numbers, look at these grids, and we need more from you, more sales, more this, more that. It's like rah rah for you, what's in it for me type thing. And it's like you can attract more flies with honey than with vinegar type of a thing. It's like, yeah, everybody will hopefully want to improve if you're like, oh, well, look at this person who did well and this person who did well. Recognize the individuals who deserved it, who did something. It's the way that we use our energy to empower the other individuals helps people to see things in a new way, to bring things forward. And maybe in the future, for instance, the kids, they'll know that when they messed up, they don't have to delay telling us. They can just kind of, all right, I totally screwed up, but this is where we're at, and this is what I need, and can you help me? And I did make her apologize, and she was such a little teenager about the whole thing, but the words were said. I think it's a good lesson to not let people off the hook, or to be like, oh, I don't want to hear this. It's like, well, you kind of got to hear it. If you screwed up, you screwed up, right? So let's see what's flying out here. Vibrational rejuvenation. That's gorgeous. So turning a situation around with your supernatural abilities as this dragon energy. And dragon energy to me is powerful. Empowered is already on the deck. Powerful protector of the treasure. And what's the true treasure is family, connectivity, the feeling of belonging, and personal identity. It's like nobody is helped or feels good about themselves if all you've got to issue is shame. It's like, I tried not to go too far, but we've all, wanted to make our corrections along the way. Yeah, power is at the bottom of this deck too. That's incredible. So yeah, you have a huge amount of power to shift a dynamic here. So I do believe that you're the bioluminescent light in the dark in a situation, helping to regenerate and forge a deeper, more intimate bond between yourself and a person that's important to you, or an organization or vision that's important to you. But you're bringing a very powerful change in your capacity to help heal a situation through honoring those little things and being able to be compassionate with the nuance of different people's lives and help them to be a bigger, stronger, better person. Okay, we have voice, integrity, and starseed. That's a really powerful mix as well. Let's see if I can get those up for you. So using our voice, that's how we set our choice. And being a person of integrity, it's like we have to sometimes take the mask off. And, a lot of people agree with discipline. Some people want to be their kids' best friends. Some people are somewhere in the middle of all that. And kids are all different. Employees are all different. Every person is very different. And so one size doesn't fit all. And the way that we encourage one person is not going to work for the next person. So this takes some getting to know other individuals, and it takes being a very real individual ourselves, very in touch with our own divinity. Thank you for filling the blank in spirit. So anything further here that we want to talk about with understanding the healing that's necessary, and intuitively bringing forth your own feelings of compassion comes from your own vulnerability and witnessing and being accountable for your own transgressions. And bringing that forward is powerful. So for others of you, let's stop talking about kids for a second and jobs. Some of you, we have the manifest with the sexuality card. So some of you are manifesting a conscious relationship, one that is very understanding of different needs in the situation. Like for many of us in this world, I would venture to say 100%, but some people are in some of their own unique cycles. But, you know, many people can't really get there unless they're feeling respected, regarded, and seen on a very deep level. So you're going to be gifted with an individual that is a very healing lover, perhaps, one who's very understanding, who's going to support you, uplift you with this take flight card. That is gorgeous energy. So let's see if we can get a, there's violet flame, a lot of healing energy here. It's like as you heal your family, your inner family dynamic is healed. Your inner narrative and anything that's falsely held you back or kept you limited in the past is being healed and graduated from here. So that's why we're talking a bit about family dynamics. You're being the parent that you perhaps didn't get as a child, and being the mentor in multiple dimensions and capacities in your life, at work, at home. You're sowing your magic everywhere. And then let's see. And then it seems like it's going to be healing your partnerships and intimate relationships as well. I'll take that one. Yep. Dhumavati, number 22, master number. That's very interesting. And underneath, weave the future golden. When I said sewing, I was thinking of this card, weaving the future golden. That's using the golden light codes from the solar sun and bringing those light codes into the manifest world, being the bioluminescent, weaving those light codes into your own energy and bringing those forward. And with Dhumavati, you're really putting an end to something and emerging. This is the smoke goddess who presides over the most difficult transitions into our own personal empowerment and being more courageous and more of a leader in a situation, because we have what it takes. We're being, spirit is sort of grooming us for this new position. She knows that certain endings are unavoidable. They're necessary predecessors to radical reinvention and regeneration. Her presence brings the message that though and through disappointment, defeat, or loss, and the negative repercussions of such may cause suffering for a time, they will not limit your future happiness. There is a means of opening an as yet unrecognized pathway for fulfillment that is coming in quickly. Your trust must be unconditional this time, and later you'll see that everything's worked out in the best possible way. So you're being divinely gifted with this transition. So stay the course and help yourself, uplift yourself, and take the reins, baby, because you got this. Take care of yourself. Until next time, folks.